So hello guys, good morning. So I said last night I was going to do an update videos. So I said I'll do an update on what happened last night on the outcome of the FOMC and a couple of things um, in the market this morning, right? So yes, someone was asking me last night if they actually raised the rates by 75 basis points yesterday. Yes, actually, that's what happened. What happened, something further that happened was that the rate itself was raised by that 75 basis points at about 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Then you notice that the 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 price initially went in the opposite direction. Like this is USD JPY, for example. We're expecting to the buy to happen, right? But initially it fell and before it's reversed. So and then when you go to let's check GBP USD. GBP USD also was around this point, had to flash up very far, got to the sell zone that we initially we earlier analyzed, and it just dropped off from there, right? So this initial move in the opposite direction because we expected a sell, but he initially bought before he started selling, and that was because there was some the traders market the market had not understood exactly what the Fed was saying clearly. Even though they raised the rates, they expected the US dollar to strengthen, but they were still a bit cautious, right? They were still a bit cautious as to what was going to happen next. Because something I said yesterday was one of the major things the market is waiting for is not just the rate hike. Okay, the rate hike is basically known. Everybody knew already that the 75 basis points was going to be the rate hike by the Fed yesterday. But the other thing the market wanted to know was what is the temperature, as it were, in the room there. Are they looking to raise rates higher in the coming month? Because they also have another rates report coming in December. I think December 13th, 14th or so. Okay, so what the market wanted to see was what are they going to do? Are they trying to raise hike again next month? What exactly is the idea? What exactly are they looking to do, right? Because by the time you look at the data, from the inflation data from the US, you look at the employment data, inflation is still not slowing down yet because this increase in interest rates is basically to slow inflation. Okay, so and the inflation has not slowed down yet. Inflation, especially energy costs and then food costs, uh, really continue to stay at that level. They are trying to raise inflation, bring inflation down to about 2%, but inflation is currently in the US is currently somewhere around 8%. In Europe, it's even higher. It's over 10%, 10.5% in Europe. Several parts of Europe, in the UK, in France, in Germany, and all that, their base inflation rate there is still around 10%. And the issue with inflation is that inflation causes a lot of instability in price, and it affects the entire economy, affects people's purchasing power. It affects of course, we already know it's basically the increase in the cost of goods and all that. So it affects people's purchasing power. It affects a lot of things a lot of it affects businesses in a lot of ways, basically. So that's why um, one of the core assignments of the central banks around the world is basically control inflation, price stability, and then another thing is stability of the financial system. So financial system stability is very important too, because if the interest rate is too high, it will affect financial stability, the credit system, and all that. That's what the market was looking to see from the Federal Reserve yesterday. They were trying to see what are they doing because they don't want to hike rates too far. They don't want to increase the rates too far. Basically, like last year, interest rates in the US was near zero. Right now, it's almost 4%, and then the Fed is saying they want to increase it. And we know what interest rates, how that affects um, how that affects a lot of things. It affects mortgage, like in these countries where they have very structured systems, they have mortgage, you take a mortgage and then you pay over 30 years and all that. The interest rate you are paying really matters, so you can't just have very high, crazy high rates in mortgage. So people are going to, that's also one thing that has slowed down the real estate market in the US, because the interest rates have been really rising, you know. So all of that is what the market was trying to see, was waiting to see from the Fed. That wasn't clear initially. That was why the market went first in the opposite direction. And then by 7:30, the central bank, the Fed chairman now did a speech. So that speech is usually follows the report. Whenever the report comes out, there will be a speech 30 minutes later. So that 30-minute later speech was where he now clarified a lot of these things. And then he basically said that they are going to continue to hike the rates, because a lot of things are not in place here. The unemployment rate is still very high. They want to just basically slow the economy. And when you want to slow economy, you're going to have to you're going to have to slow employment. When you slow employment, you're going to slow down the economy in several ways. So as to slowing down employment is one of that. So as to eventually slow down costs. And most of the indices that's coming out from the US, especially employment numbers, are not they're not in the direction of a slowdown at this time yet. So that's what the Fed is still doing, and they're still saying that over the next few months, they are still going to be hiking rates gradually. And then later on, what they are expecting to see is that they are expecting to see that the eventual rates that they arrive at, but by the time they hike interest rate 75 basis points, they did another 75 basis points. They've done it about 4 times this year so far. And then there's still anticipation that they're going to do another rate hike in December. So that rate, every time they add that, the total interest rate, which they call the Fed funds rate, just keeps increasing. So eventually this hiking of the rates may continue all the way to March. And then what that just means that the Fed funds rate, eventually increases to probably around 5% or so. That just basically that's going to be very instrumental in slowing down the economy, because when the interest rate is too high, it affects a lot of things. People don't borrow much anymore. Someone was talking about how that he borrowed money to buy a Tesla because someone in the US, because the rates were just so ridiculous, like so ridiculously low. That was like, I think, a year or two ago or so. But that's not the same thing now, because the interest rates are high now. People are going to be very careful with borrowing now. Yeah, right, all right. So those are the things. That's how they are trying to slow down the economy. All right. So having said that, what's the market? How's the reaction of the market? So basically the USD has strengthened again, strengthened really in the direction we actually predicted it would. And then we already said that any pair that has USD as its base currency, like the USD JPY, you are going to see begin to buy. You are going to see buy moves there. And then any other pair that has the USD as its quote currency, which means it's on the right hand side. The base currency is on the left hand, quote currency is on the right hand. For those who don't understand that, so when you look at GBP USD, for example, GBP is on the left, USD is on the right. That means that USD is the quote currency. When you look at USD JPY, the USD is on the left, JPY is on the right, which means USD is the base currency. Okay. So any currency that's the base is going to definitely buy. If we go to USD JPY, we'll see that USD JPY is buying. If we go to USD CAD too, we'll see that USD CAD is buying too. But we are going to find out that GBP USD is selling out off, Euro USD is selling off, and very heavily too, right? So this channel we had yesterday had been broken out. It broke out of the channel, and then you can see price pulling back to that channel and then selling off right now. So this is Euro USD. Let's just do a bit of some analysis. We're going to also have some signals sent out in the group as usual later on. Okay. So, but what we're looking at here now, you see a breakout of the channel here, and then there was this push pull back here, this would have been a very good entry point for a sell on USD JPY, on the Euro USD, sorry. So another point that would be, another point where we could see a potential entry for a sell is probably if price pulls back to this place. It's broken out very heavily right now. We hope that it will push back like this, because when you want to enter a trade, you want to look at where's my entry. You don't just jump in and say, okay, yes, it's going to sell. So it's going to sell, let me jump in. You don't just jump into a trade. You have to ask yourself, what's my entry point? Where am I meant to enter this trade, right? So most likely we'll see something like that. That's what I'll be expecting to do. This would be like my buy zone. Potential buy zone will be here right now, since the first one was potential buy zone. So sell zone, so it's actually a sell zone. Potential sell zone, yes. So we're not buying this, we're selling this. So this is a potential sell zone right here. That's what I'm looking to do. Since we're already, like we said, we're in a downtrend on Euro USD, we're on a downtrend in GBP USD as well. Okay, so somewhere around here would be my sell zone, and then I'll be looking to take profit somewhere here. That's for Euro USD. Okay, for GBP USD, now let me see if I can get specific numbers there. Okay. This should be around, this entry now should be around the 0.9813 region. 0.9813 region. Okay. 0.98130 region area. Okay. I said area because it's not a specific place. Okay, so the price will come here and pull back, it will come to the top here and pull back, but basically an area. That's the area we are looking at there, where a trade might likely happen, but price is still pushing down. That's where I would prefer to enter that trade. The exit will be somewhere around 0.9754. 0.9754. And that should be my exit. That exit I'll be looking at. Exit. So that's for Euro USD. Let's look at let's quickly look at gold before we move to the other ones. Gold also is the same thing. Gold has an inverse relationship with the dollar. You see, so you'll see what happens with gold, what happens with Euro USD, GBP USD, the same thing you're going to see with gold as well. You see, so gold initially went very high, and then it pulled back from there and has been selling off, and it seems like it's going to continue selling off too. Okay, so this will be looking for in a potential sell trade on gold. I don't want this video to be too long, so I have to finish it quickly. So I don't this is what we expect from gold. Like a pull back to this area here, and that area is 1.33 1633.48 area. 1633.48 area. Gold is going to keep holding. The trend on gold too is also a sell trend. Okay, so that's a sell zone on gold. And that's 1.1633.4 area for gold. Okay. That's for gold. GBP USD. Let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD in a massive sell as well. Okay. So this is an area I'm looking to sell off of to. Okay. So we see pull back to this area, and then we see price drop off from here. That would be a good one for me for GBP USD. So that area is what? So that's 1.1378 area. 1.1378 area. Area. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for, is somewhere around here. Okay. Then USD JPY. Let's look at this quickly. USD JPY, for me, I'll be looking to buy at the break of this area right now. And USD JPY is a buy, right? So I'll be looking for a break above this area, break out like this. Okay. Pull back like this, and then I'll be looking for it to buy at least to this zone, probably to the next one too, but this should be the first take profit, I would say, because this trend line now has been broken. Trend line has been broken, this structure has been broken, and then the trend line was also broken. So I'll be expecting price to buy to this area. So this area is most likely 1.81480. That's a 148 area. That's a 148 area, 148.00 area for a buy on the USD JPY. So this should be around the buy zone. Buy zone. Okay. Okay, buy zone. I'll do these charts also in the group. All right. Have a nice day, guys. So use this as a guide to do your analysis, and whenever price gets there, you'll be able to enter the trade. So thank you.